voting,
Yeah.
we moved into a whole bunch of corruption right there in itself. Hey, the percentage of people that cannot go to a voting place to vote in person, these are the people,
Why you like to vote
elderly,
anyway?
that really
Right.
is half-footed the dirt.
And I have a debate with Keons on this like all the time. I get it. What you're saying is, if you can't show up to the ballot station, you shouldn't be able to vote.
What I'm saying is, these people that cannot go to, maybe because they're no more kids, or maybe because they cannot drive.
Yes.
Well, they can get on doctor's note to give to the elections office, so that their ballot.
They should be the exception.
Of course,
Right.
that's it. So they have their voices be heard.
Right.
But in this case, you let in every Tom, Dick, and Harry vote from home, and some of them are even getting 1,000 ballots.
So find the exception. So here's where the crack is. Right? The fundamental idea of an election, right, is that every person in that community that is a human being should have a say in the way that that community is governed. Same page? Are we on the same page? That's like what the core of an election is, right? We can agree on that.
Well, it goes deep. It goes into what kind of statutes they make.
What I'm saying is that's the idea. We can at least agree.
When you got legislators like Lorraine Inouye,
Sure.
right? They're making it where in the primary you can only vote for one party.
Instead of that, let's bring it all the way back. The core essence of an election. Me, you, Liamana, we're a community. We're going to vote. We each have a vote. The idea, the basic principle of an election is that every human that's a part of this community has a say in the way that it's governed.
Right.
That like we can agree on that core concept, right?
Yep.
Okay. So the problem that and this is I'm not going to debate whether it's right or wrong. It's just the truth. When you say that you have to have money to vote,
that got to get out.
Well, that's what they're saying. That's what you're saying.
I'm not saying you got to have
You
money.
got to show up with an ID.
Listen,
IDs cost money.
No. You got to have an ID, bro.
That costs money.
To prove yourself.
That costs money. So what I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying
you got to have an ID to prove you the person, right?
Yes, but you need money to get an ID, right?
Everybody's got.
So the equation, not everybody doesn't have an ID, man. No. Everybody doesn't have an ID. Poor people disproportionately don't have IDs.
Why they don't have IDs?
They don't have money.
No, that's not it.
Well, I mean, I'm saying that's an argument.
Not it.
Some of them do.
No.
Some of them don't have an ID.
The system that we're living in Hawaii, the system is created that way.
Sure.
Okay, when a guy go jail, he reached the jail, gave him his personal items. But when he leaves, his personal items is not given back to him.
I know, that's wrong.
No. That is. Listen, for the older people that we're talking about, they got Social Security.
I know. I'm trying to bring it back to the
Social
idea.
Security.
I'm trying to bring it back to the idea. This is the idea of an
back
election.
in the day, see, the politics from the mainland in Hawaii, two different things. That's why it's such a mess, because the illegal occupation is real. We gotta play by their crooked ass rules. We never need that. Before, you know how it was?
Yeah.
Every island had its own governor, right? Back then, so there is a party, Home Rule it's called. Look it up, Home Rule. That's the party that our local guys should be running under. Not no Democrat, not no Republican, not no Green or Home Rule. That's how it should be in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Self-governance.
I agree.
Self-governance.
I agree. One vote for one man too. One human gets one vote. I don't believe in electoral district college is bullshit.
So like back in the day, like we were talking earlier with the group of people that is on, and I was just getting to that point. Home Rule is a party, and look it up. It was used last, I think, in fact, I think when it became forced upon us, the statehood, I think they still are using it, self-governance, and it is a party. Nobody's using it running under it though, because they're not speaking about it. You know, they don't want people to do that because they don't want Hawaii to be self-governance. But that's where, in the paperworks for Hawaiian Homes, yeah, that Department of Hawaiian Homes Commission and stuff like that. My question was to some elders, who voted or who placed or appointed DHHL chair and commissioners? One guy goes, oh, the governor. No, cannot be the United States governor because they're serving two masters.
Yeah.
Right? But the truth of the matter is, every island had its own governor. And that was the governor that they're talking about. Those governors, they ran under the Hawaiian Kingdom laws, which that's the laws that we should all be running under. The law of the land. Here in Hawaii, that's why I think Hawaiian Kingdom should rise, because of the fact that in the last 130 years, America really did nothing for the betterment of our people or just our land and natural resources. You know, I don't think they're not capable of managing that. And they're not capable of providing for the people of Hawaii. They just want to keep on taking and taking and taking, you know. But that's just my.
No. I think that like there's no disagreement there. I think a large portion or a large motivating factor in why, like I ride with you guys the way that I do is because that's obvious. What you just stated is super obvious. Where I'm sitting at is, okay, we know we have the anger, we know we have the motivation to act. What's the solution? What is the solution? Like, identifying the problem.
The solution is getting the right people in there. You know, like I said, you got people that move from the mainland here. Why they move here? Because they're running away from the politics up there, you know. They come here, they get themselves established, and then they run, and luckily they get in. Now in this case here for the Big Island, we got screwed, glued, and tattooed because we got, I don't know who in their right mind want to put a prosecuting attorney as our mayor, who is the very one who's locked behind his closed door, looking for loopholes to keep the people's voices out and to keep the people's attendance out.
Yeah.
Not being heard or even being seen and acting as if nobody's showing up. You know, that is the problem.
Do you think there are enough people that do you think that there are enough people to overcome the gap that the corruption causes? So we can break everything down to mathematics. If it is corrupt, that will account for a certain amount.
So one big piece of the corruption, right, that we got to take into consideration is that the census, right? They all going off of the census, right? The census, they're claiming, oh, the census this, the census that. But you know how many people really not even in the census?
Yeah.
You know how many people that they're claiming?
Yeah.
It's just a claim that they're making.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they redistrict the whole island.
Oh, for sure. That's the whole
under a false claim.
Yeah. So that's also a mainland problem right now.
So even that, the census should not be something that we look to for our resource.
Yeah.
You know, that shouldn't be like that.
Here's a personal question though. Like, do you believe? Let's just take the island of Hawaii, the Big Island. Do you think that there are enough people on this island that can get activated that would overcome that number? Okay, that's a solution. To me, that's a solution.
Absolutely.
How do you activate those people?
Well,
how do you activate those people?
We create this hui ho'ola'aina, right? And it should be a citizens oversight commission.
Yes.
Right? Now, this oversight commission, the commissioners, I believe, shouldn't get paid. You want to be a commissioner because this is what you love. This is what we love. We got to protect this right here. If you feel like you want to protect this and nothing can get in between that thought and money, then you should be a commissioner on this oversight. Money shouldn't even have a worth to it. There's nothing worth more than this. Our Aina, our Keikis, the future generations. There's nothing that is worth more than that.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I think you see our people. And you know what? For all we know, we probably had enough votes to do it. But because the lieutenant governor was the one in charge of his governor race, elections.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
So here's the thing. I think I can simplify. Like, the problem is the wrong people are in office.
Exactly.
Those wrong people also have the levers on who decides to get into office, right?
Right.
Okay.
Now the
whoa. I'm just trying to simplify it also again. In order to replace those people, we need to overcome a number. That number is created by the corruption in the levers that they're pulling.
Right.
What do you think that number is? 100,000? What's the error? What's the margin of error that triggers a recount? 300,000?
Jeez, I think 60,000.
60,000
should be.
So, by that logic, if we can get 60,000 more people activated and vote, it will overcome whatever corruption they have created in that system, right?
Yeah.
That to me is the solution.
Sure. And this guy Nago, right? The one working elections, right? They were making these excuses that they were going to make 60,000 mistakes. Normally, in the past years, that's the deciding factor right there.
Right.
You know, the 60,000. And being that they think it's okay to make 60,000 mistakes, they should have been fired when they made that statement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be making one mistake. You know what I mean? Like, but here's another thing that I think is super important. To run in office, you gotta get rid of campaigning money.
No, absolutely. But that's never gonna happen.
No, but
unless you replace the people that are receiving.
Right. Well,
unless
number one, the unions.
Yeah.
They should be fined if they're trying to vote for their members.
That's the same thing as a corporation coming in, right?
Right.
And saying, I want you to make a bill that favors me. Here's a donation to money.
Right, lobbying and everything, yeah.
But that's never going to happen until you replace the people that are receiving them. So that's the.
So
that's
it starts
problem.
with you guys. All of us.
I'm setting you up so you can knock it out the park, Jake. So here's an idea, right? So you live on a block, right? What if you were put in charge of your block, and your job is to concentrate on your block and make sure everybody on your block is educated?
Then I'm going to be the jerk.
No, listen. That's your sole responsibility. And then all we need is one more person like you on every block. And then on election day, your only responsibility is getting your block to the voting booth. That to me is a solution.
Right.
You need one person on every block. Right. That will overcome the 60,000 margin of error.
So why wouldn't you make it a holiday, a paid holiday?
Paid holiday.
A paid holiday.
Fuck it.
Give everybody off. Everybody get to the polls. Those that cannot can vote by mail only through doctor's note. You know, like I think.
Or caseworker. How about a caseworker?
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's got to be some. How's about a notarized person?
yeah. You know, the notary, they're like a booming notary.
Go get a notary. Yeah.
All the notaries are corrupt now. All the notaries are corrupt.
The same way that this fake state wants you to
get your paperwork
notarized. Yeah.
I know one.
You know, to pull papers and run in office, you got to get notarized papers. We do the same thing.
No, for real. Hey, for real. You know what? Okay, how's about
what
this?
What do you guys think?
Can we
let us know what you guys think.
Let's finish up this idea, and then I'm gonna reset the chat so that way, because every time we finish the live, we can repost it, and I don't want it to cut out, because that was actually a really good talk. So
Konohiki, automatic Konohikis. That's what they were doing. That was the Kuliana, to make sure that they had Me'ai from the Mocha and Me'ai from the Makai. Make sure that the whole Ahupua'a was taken care of. That's exactly what Konahiki does.
I think, like, before we shut this off, back to what we were talking about, since we need reps on every block, if you are interested in being the rep for your block, man, DM the man. Let's get you in a. Let's get you activated.
Let's start
Get
this
free
thing
shirt.
up. We got 2 years.
Yeah, we got a shirt for you.
Hey, we'll help you guys set up nonprofits.
Oh
Right?
yeah. At the very
Don't
least,
forget to go to your farmer's market.
at the very least, we give you a skill set that no matter what happens, you have this skill set. You're able to use it elsewhere to empower yourself. That's one thing that we've always been good about is we get call them interns, but it's really anybody who wants to learn, whether that's video editing, whether that's the community.
It's part of
activation.
halal.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Notary. Yeah, notary. How about we make it kanakari? Kanakari. You know, we change them up. Notary, yeah, it's American language. Yeah, that's bullshit. But, you know, that's what they consider a legal standing document. That's the only thing the courts recognize as a legal document in the courts. So, that's their courts, America's courts, yeah, but...
Yeah, that thing is beelining for the training center.
Yeah.
We were talking about, imagine it hits the armory and just...
Hey, you know what? I wish that had happened like in 2 hours.
Yeah,
Just run over everything.
beelining.
Yeah. 2 hours is just fill them up. I'm hoping that thing trigger Mauna Kea and just fill up this whole place over
Hey,
here.
do we have do you have the Starlink, Ben?
It's coming. Oh,
See-
we should have it right here, huh? Oh,
Well, because I can broadcast the 4K signal
yeah, it's coming.
on, but if I
Yeah,
can get the
the
live,
Starlink's coming.
if I can get the internet from this other guy tomorrow, then I can broadcast this 4K feed instead of the phone feed.
Yup. But usually the Kono, he can take care of the problem before he gotta go to his opera. Yeah, so like Knuckle Fat was saying, you wanna be that person in the community.
You want to be your block rep? Like we'll give you a skill set to be able to at least have that conversation. We'll give you whatever documentation you need. We'll make sure you look super
Community-
clean like this guy.
Community meetings, community meetings is important. Everybody should be on the same page. You guys should have a disaster plan put in place. Every community should have a disaster plan. Every community should have one garden, for the community. That way, there is and every community should have shoreline resource management. Eliminate the state from claiming that they're collecting data, because their data somehow eliminates the locals from going out there and fishing. For those that are not covered by
Okay,
Article 12.
right on. We're gonna take a short intermission, drink some water,
Yeah.
power up the cameras, get these things broadcasted, edit a little bit, let our vocal cords rest. Thank you all of you guys for tuning in. Thanks to the people watching on top YouTube out there and watching this on the website. We really need everybody's support. We're in this together. Sometimes the communication we have in a devil's tongue is meant for us to fight. That's why we don't. But we gotta be able to communicate, listen to each other talk, because the ideas, they're gonna come out. Have patience with each other in expressing our ideas, because we come from trauma. We've been genocided, traumatized, and so when we express ourselves, it's very emotional, because we've never been taught to express our ideas this way, and this is foundational ideas, bringing back our culture, bringing back our people, bringing back the sovereignty of this land, not being ruled by America and corporations.
I know you mentioning islanders and stuff like that, but you guys got to understand too that what's happened to us in Hawaii back in the 40s happened to Micronesia not too long ago. But
Guam. And it's because we got kicked out of Japan.
The
military got kicked out of Japan, and they went and took over Guam. That's why the Chamorro are all here, and their customs are different. They don't do stuff like us, and so they get in trouble a lot. I don't dislike them. I just
they're just like
assimilate,
us.
please.
They're like us. They're waiting for the government
Yeah.
to deliver on their promise.
And
That's
the government
it.
lied.
And it's not their fault that some of them step out of line, but they must be frustrated like us too. Tired of not being heard, tired of not being taken care of. So I know that some of them make trouble, but not all of them. everywhere you go, there's a bad patch, you know, bad batch or so. But you know, it's not their fault that they were dropped bombs on and given a ticket here to move here and stuff like that. Yeah, I kind of bummed out too, but you know, at the same time, they really have no other options, and we just got to be a good neighbor.
Anyway, yep, with that being said, we're going to take a break. Love you guys. Aloha. And if you guys get a chance, please support the feed. I know this is a crazy, insane talk. Please drop some donations in a Venmo so that way we can get out here, help us pay for gas up and down. You know, the cops, they get paid to do this. The civil defense, the government, they get paid to, you know, take this over, and we cannot do it ourselves. We need everybody in this together. So love you guys. Aloha.
Thank you.
Oh,
I think my kids went.
yeah, that was fire.
That was heavy, bro. I think the thing went up to what, 30 something?
I don't know. Jundu, come back.
I think so.
Come back, because Tim gotta leave at 3.
Huh?
Tim gotta leave at 3.
Who?
Tim.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he gotta go work.
See you after.
Love you.
See you after. Leave you the snacks over here.